Today we'll be taking a look at TUD Ape's AVP player Langusta in the Irish Collegiate Esports Spring 2021 tournament. This game against 3Sports took place in week 1 of the tournament. I was primarily interested in the relationship between the player and the rest of his team, and if he was baiting or playmaking when he gets the majority of his kills. I've picked about 6 rounds in particular that I want to go through and discuss the theory behind why certain decisions are made and how they impact the rest of the round. In round 7 on the first map, TUD start out in the default. Langusta goes towards Palace at the start. On the other side of things, the CTs send 2 men down mid to fight for control. After they get a kill, Langusta decides to push out and gets the trade on the player in CT. The reason he does this is because 3 players get spotted in mid. This means that only 1 player should be playing on A, usually in CT. Langusta can take control of the site off the back of a 50-50. This split second decision essentially gets TUD the site after going a man down at the start of the round. The start of round 10 also shows another little detail that I've noticed throughout the demo. The majority of the time, Langusta actually sends his smoke out quite early to set up his team taking control of mid. When you have someone making plays quite regularly, it allows them to take risks without worrying about dying with vital utility. It means the rest of the team can potentially use their nades to set him up. As we can see, Langusta makes his way to ramp at the start of the round. At a certain point, he begins to look for a kill on the A site with his teammate in support. After missing out in the first kill, he pushes into sandwich and lies in wait for the CT to make himself visible again. Ultimately finding the kill through triple box and swinging on the stairs player for another. The pacing of this round is what stood out to me the most, as he creates so much space for his team without initially finding a kill. He seems to understand that the position is more important initially and that it will ultimately gift him a kill, especially with his teammate covering the only other angle he's vulnerable to. On the CT side, Langusta plays the catwalk position. This seems to suit his mix of skill and individual decision making quite well, as he can choose where he needs to be and what angle to approach it from. He often throws these 2 nades when he starts the round, as they're the most common angles to fight catwalk from, allowing him to make plays whenever he sees an opening. He boosts himself above the smoke, catching the T off guard. After sitting in the window for a while, the call comes in that it's a B hit. This shows the strength of putting one of your top players in a fast rotation position, as it allows him to get into fights quite quickly before the T's get embedded in the site. On to the second map, Overpass, and more specifically round 10. This round starts off with a fast B push through Monster Tunnel. After getting out Monster, Langusta's pathing in combination with the smoke on site allows him to peek certain angles in a set order. Firstly fighting the player side walk, then running up left side pillar to not be exposed to heaven and clearing short. At this point he takes a risk and jumps onto default to find an opening kill. After this kill, he pushes over the barrels and eventually kills the next player on site. His team then stops dead. They wait for the CTs to make a play as they don't have any other option now. They catch a flank from Monster and that's the round. What stood out to me most this round was TUD and Langusta's thoroughness, even whilst under pressure, to clear every angle and not present an opening for the CTs to snowball. On round 26, I wanted to highlight Langusta's constant pressure on the CT side. After a stalemate over on long, Langusta rotates through toilets and picks up the first kill onto the bomb carrier in party. He initially falls back, only to then regress through toilets moments later to find his second of the round. Whilst I understand he primarily gets away with this because UL aren't playing to trade kills, always having a CT putting pressure on the map forces the Ts to work the map slowly to allow them to clear out aggressive positions and thus become more readable. Our final round comes in the first round of overtime. I wanted to start by highlighting the use of the molly to stop the T smoke, which is something you always love to see. After surviving the first engagement, he drops the smoke to cover his exit. However, instead of falling back to hold the site with his AWPer, Langusta holds his position within toilets. In the T's mind, Langusta should have fallen back to site to play off his teammates. Under this assumption, they begin to run down towards the B site via connector. Langusta's aggressive position allows him to make the call to his teammates, who can be seen rotating to stack B, and allows him to get a fast flank and catch two T's off guard. Over the course of both maps, Langusta picked up an impressive 73 kills with a mixture of aim and decision making for his team. Thank you for watching this player breakdown. I'm aiming to do one of these every 2 weeks or so. If you have any feedback, please leave it below in the comment section or let me know on Twitter @Fleming, spelt the same way as my YouTube name, CS.